Welcome, ladies, gentlemen, and everyone who's ever stared at a K-pop photo and wondered if they've accidentally stumbled onto an episode of The Twilight Zone. Let's dive headfirst into one of the most baffling, bizarre, and occasionally hilarious issues plaguing the K-pop industry: the unholy phenomenon of whitewashing idols in promotional photos. You know, when companies edit their idols so much that they end up looking like they've been dipped in a vat of foundation and left to dry under the harsh glare of an overzealous fluorescent light. It's almost as if these companies take one look at an idol's naturally stunning skin and think, you know what? It'd be better if we made them look like a piece of paper. Like, why let the skin actually shine when you can just erase all traces of melanin? And so begins the journey of making idols who were born with beautiful, rich, and unique skin tones into beige-colored blobs of disappointment. Alright, let's set the scene. A K-pop group drops their highly anticipated teaser photos. You know, the ones you've been waiting for with bated breath since their last comeback. You open the link, your heart racing with excitement, and then bam, you're hit with a flurry of white. No, it's not snow. It's not even the reflection of light off a snowbank in the dead of winter. It's the idols, photoshopped to the point where they look like they've just been abducted by aliens and are being presented to the public as proof of extraterrestrial life. Hi, we come in peace. Also, we come in ghostly whiteness. Now, let's get specific. Think about idols like EXO's Kai or ITZY's Ryujin. Both of them are known for their warm, radiant skin tones that practically scream, "I've been living my best life in a sun-kissed paradise." But somehow, in their promotional photos, those golden undertones are stripped away as if they were wearing the world's most powerful get rid of melanin filter. This isn't just an occasional oops, we went too far with the editing situation. No, this has become a ritualistic, repeatable pattern. You would think by now, after thousands of years of human existence, that someone would have whispered in the ears of these editing teams, hey, maybe it's time to stop making these idols look like they just emerged from a tanning bed, only to take a wrong turn and fall into a vat of white paint. But no, instead, they keep editing and editing until your favorite idol looks like they're about to do the macabre waltz in an old-timey horror film. Now, here's where it gets a little more ridiculous. The K-pop industry, rooted in East Asia, thrives on a level of diversity within its own ethnic spectrum. So why is the ideal of skin so pale it might as well glow in the dark still considered the standard? Companies forget that idols like ITZY's San or Seventeen's Minju, who have richer, warmer skin tones, are celebrated for breaking beauty stereotypes and serving diversity goals. But instead of letting them shine as they are, editors are out here cranking up the brightness to the point where you could use them as a flashlight. What's the message here? We love your talent, but your skin tone is just too authentic? It's as if the K-pop industry, in its desperate thirst for global appeal, is willing to erase what makes these idols uniquely themselves. Imagine that, diversity within the K-pop ecosystem, but only if you're the right kind of diverse. Is it an industry-wide love for underrepresented beauty, or is it just Eurocentricity in a different disguise? At this point, we must have a serious discussion about the Photoshop department, because it's getting out of hand. The editing process has officially spiraled into madness. You can't tell where the idol's actual face ends and where the Photoshop department begins. Honestly, there are entire fan bases that can recognize when a Photoshop job is too much before they even glance at the idol's name. It's like some mythical Photoshop creature sits in a cave somewhere, rubbing its hands together, cackling as it whittles down the rich complexity of skin tones until they're barely visible, like an old, faded photograph that was left too long in the sun. The fans are not stupid. They see the difference between an idol's real skin tone and the one they're given in official teasers. They see the difference between someone naturally glowing under the spotlight and someone who looks like they just stepped off a conveyor belt at a manufacturing plant for pale-faced mannequins. And here's the thing, the Photoshop fails aren't even subtle anymore. You get images of idols on stage looking vibrant and full of life, and then bam, the official photos hit, and it's like they got turned into a living, breathing wax statue. But not even a good one, more like the kind that gets recycled for Halloween decorations. This is where things start to get real ugly. What many people fail to understand is that this practice isn't just about Photoshop, it's about colorism. The idea that lighter skin equals more beauty is a deeply rooted societal problem, not just in Korea but across many parts of the world. And K-pop is, unfortunately, one of the biggest promoters of that belief. When you look at idols who are naturally darker skinned, the difference is painfully obvious. You know, They're the ones who seem to have to work 10 times harder to be recognized and praised for their beauty. The real kicker is that these idols' natural features, including their skin tone, are what make them stand out. Their diversity is what sets them apart from the sea of homogeneous beauty standards in Western media. But when the industry decides to turn their skin into a light shade of paper white, what message does that send to their fans? That darker skin isn't beautiful enough? That it's something to be ashamed of? That's what colorism is, and it's a big, ugly part of the industry.
Dear K-pop companies, it's 2024. The world is celebrating diversity in all its forms. So why are you still stuck in 1824, editing idols like you're preparing them for a Victorian-era ghost story? Here's a radical idea. Stop. Just stop. Put down the saturation slider, close the Photoshop app, and step away from the computer. Let your idols be who they are, unfiltered, unedited, and unapologetically themselves. Fans don't love idols because they're pale. They love them because they're talented, hardworking, and unique. So let's leave the whitewashing in the past, where it belongs. Because the only thing that should be blinding us in K-pop is the talent, not the overexposure. Sincerely, every fan with functioning eyeballs.